Hello, hello everyone, and welcome to Winter Data Meetup from datazencommunity. Our speaker is Maksim Sapukhin, and he will tell us why business needs data and how data solutions can improve business based on his real life experience. Please don't forget to ask your questions in YouTube chat. Hi, Maxim. It's nice to see you here. The floor is yours.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, it's exciting to be here. Thanks for letting me join and share some of my experience. Okay, so my topic is not very technical. I would say it's not technical at all. Rather, I would like to share some of the business expectations and business view on data related projects. So I'm sharing based on my experience because I've been for 15 years in manufacturing and retail. I was taking some C-level positions there and then being business consultant. And actually, that's how I got into data field and BI field because I felt that really business is missing some really important tools and it's missing efficiency using all these Excel spreadsheets and stuff like that. So for 7 years I'm in BI related projects, and for 2 years I'm in EPAM and really enjoying my current role. So again, I'll be talking more about projects that aim to bring value to end business users, those guys who are actually trying to do their jobs better to achieve their KPIs. And usually they're using one of the BI tools in front end. And my goal is to highlight value which they are expecting, because like being like in developer position or engineer position now, I often kind of catch myself that being in different position, in managerial position, I would expect a little bit different things from dashboard or report that now being an engineer. So and please use it when appropriate. I mean, not every project, not every business expects you to give some advices or bring some expertise in business field. So, but many businesses are open to it. So, back to data. Well, it's kind of a common thing now that data is essential part of business. You don't have to discuss it anymore. I've got few quotes with the help of ChatGPT on why data is important. So it's like new oil. It's the most valuable assets. It's foundation. It's like basically no one argues that business needs to use data to improve its efficiency, to compete better, and just to exist, basically. And what are some expectations like business has from data related projects, and we as engineers are focusing when we are delivering these projects? So let's start with our day-to-day priorities. We need to finish our tasks in time. We need to finish them within scope and within budget with highest possible excellence. So as engineers, we tend to focus, and that's absolutely the right thing, on delivering technical side of the project. And we are assuming, and rightly assuming, that business is responsible for providing correct requirements and scope. So, but what are business priorities? Here I'm referring to sorry, to latest Gartner survey on objectives of digital investments over the past couple of years. And we see like clearly two groups here. First, about top line impact. So that is all about revenue, how we improve customer experience, which actually goes to revenue again. It's basically how we keep existing clients and existing revenue. How we introduce new products, that is how we bring new clients and again grow revenue. So business expects that digital initiatives, data related project will help them to make better decisions to achieve these top line impact goals. And second group is bottom line impact. That is how business wants to improve its efficiency, like inner processes, operational excellence, employee productivity, cost efficiency, improve employer experience sometimes. So, and that is what business is really focused now, because when economy is balancing at the edge of recession, and not always business can do something for revenue, to grow revenue, then business usually focuses on bottom line impact, on increasing productivity and cost efficiency. So that is value business wants to see, not only on like C-level, but also like manager who uses some of our reports, production manager, marketing, sales. They want to improve their results in everyday life. So, but I guess it's also not a surprise that half of digital initiatives lacks leadership expectations. And there are two main reasons. So first one is that it takes too long to complete those initiatives. They taking much more time. And the second one is that it takes too long to realize value. And that is really important one, because again, objectives were to get some additional value from these projects, not implement some technologies, not implement some new tools, but to get additional value. And if business doesn't realize this value, that's a problem, because it won't invest money till it gets it right, till it will see how he can get value from it. So, and here I want to dive a little bit more deeper in business frameworks, not technical ones again, but I believe that might help us to understand how we can bring more value to business if we remember some of core business concepts. And one of the frameworks which is used very often, it's kind of old one, but still most of the companies are using it in one or another way, modified. So this is just a very basic example. It's balanced scorecard. So, and company using this structure to prioritize, clarify their strategic priorities. And again, on the financial perspective, because business, it's all about money. I mean, we can have all other talks, but if business doesn't bring money, it just stops its existing. So again, we have productivity strategy and revenue growth strategy, which are very well referring to what we've been to what we've seen in previous slide. that is bottom line impact, that is about our efficiency, and that's top line impact, that's about our revenue. So together they make a profit. We take revenue, we take our costs, and what is left is our simplified, it's our profit. So, and then we have customer perspective, where we have goals and initiatives, where we define what we have to achieve on customer perspective to achieve goals on financial perspective, like what kind of price we should give to our customer, what kind of quality we should give, what kind of availability, and all kind of things. They, again, they can be different from for every business, but usually it has this structure. And where our projects are very often are like data related projects on internal perspective, that's where company processes are, what processes must be in place, and how we should improve them to achieve goals on customer perspective. And then goes learning and growth perspective, again, what kind of human capital and other things that we need to have in place to support all other levels. So what is important here is to understand where our project, where we can map our project on this kind of structure. And I want to share a very little simple example from one of the recent projects, and to illustrate why this is important to understand this structure and to place or map our project into it, and what can go wrong if we are not following some good framework in it. My example, it's like very simplified again process. It's about quality assurance process. So we've got some production lots, which is piece of production, let's say a pallet of manufactured goods, which takes some quality checks during manufacturing process. And if everything goes fine, it goes straight to warehouse. But if there are some possible issues, like at some point of process something might went wrong, then it goes to like quarantine. So it's put aside, and some investigation takes place, and if quality is confirmed, again it goes to warehouse. If some piece of production has some issues, it might be resorted and then packaged again and go to warehouse, or it can be totally scrapped if there's some major issues. So when we started working on this project, we assumed that we are here, that we have this quality assurance process, like on internal perspective, and it affects quality. We've got some initial requirements, some Excel reports, and business would say, okay, we need this and this kind of charts finally. And that was like more about quality, like what were the reasons for those lots to be put on quarantine, what kind of production lines we would make more issues, and all kinds of information related to like quality issues. So, and we would do some work, and we would prepare a data product having all this information, all this data, and some mock-up for dashboard or some prototype. But when we started discussing it with business, really what we came to was like they needed right away that right now their pain was availability. Not it was not about quality, because lots production lots which are on quarantine, they can't be delivered to the customer. They are produced, but they are put aside for sometimes for a long time to do these checks, to resort, to repack, and stuff like that. So they are not, they couldn't be uh, delivered to customer, which of course decreased utilization of production lines. So actually it needed different set of information of data. We needed to pull more data from SAP, and we really needed to rethink the whole concept of this project, and rework some of it. Uh, Fortunately, it wasn't like a large part, and we delivered it in time. But what could be done to avoid it? What could be done better in this case? I will go to the framework, which business, first of all, uh, might use or should use, I guess, in all this kind of projects. And it comes from Bernard Marr. He's a consultant also in data, and but he is like on business side, and this comes from business side of projects. So, and actually very straightforward, has 5 parts in it, starting with defining objectives and information needs, then collecting right data and information. That's where we actually starting working normally, because that's where, yeah, engineering works start. And then analyzing data and gaining insights, presenting and communicating it, and finally business is making evidence-based decisions or data-driven decisions. There are different ways to say it. So it's all about coming through this cycle to make better decisions, which help to achieve like business objectives, business strategy objectives. And business sees IT infrastructure and BI application here as enablers for this process. And this part is actually business responsibility. But the issue is that in many cases, especially if we are doing projects on the level of some units or departments, they're not really aware of how to approach these projects. These frameworks are not very widespread still in business, throughout the business. So really what we can improve here is to try to drive attention to this first box here, to this first to the start of this process, because if we are not answering these questions, everything else can go really wrong way, and we will be answering wrong questions and getting wrong data, and finally we will need to rework it, or business will not use it, will not see value, because it wants it's something else to achieve its goals. So, and to clarify a little bit how we can approach it, it is about asking right questions, because asking right question is a way to get right answer. So, and there are, again, same source, and there are like two types of questions. First, key performance questions, which are actually help us to define where uh, our data, our process should aim, like what aim it has here. And these two questions here illustrating it, like to what degree we can ask, like relating this project, to what degree our customers who receive our services are satisfied with quality, and then we would aim this box, this goal, and then we will need all information which will help us, to achieve this kind of quality. We can dig into the reasons, we can connect it to equipment, materials, and it's the total big set of data here. And on the other hand, we can ask to what extent quality assurance process affects availability. And then we need a totally different set of data. And we will build very simple report, like report, which will be used by some manufacturing manager and quality assurance manager, who would, come to his workplace in the morning and see, okay, I've got so many lots on quarantine. I can make sure today that these are passing all the needed investigations. These are getting resorted. These are getting repacked and send it to warehouse. And he's got all actions right here in one report, and it is totally different. So that is really small piece, and it seems very obvious, but it gets skipped many times, which causes rework, and which might lead to loss of value for business after we finish this project. So to sum up, I guess, uh, again, business needs data to make better decisions, not to look and play with some fancy dashboards, or just to have all data possible. Uh, every manager, every CEO has his goals, and usually those goals are aligning, are coming to financial perspective. So if you can make sure that we don't miss this first step, if business didn't do a job, try to address these questions during discovery stage, during when we discuss in like dashboard mockups, or gathering some uh, information from business. So I believe that might help us, and that will bring value, which that might increase value, which we are bringing to business. Okay, that's my little speech. So let's go to questions and answers.
Thank you, Maxim. That was very interesting presentation. And okay, so let us say a company wants to use data, uh, and you told us that data can help to improve business. But can data improve any kind of business?
Well, I believe absolutely so. Uh, we can, I guess, take any example, and probably we will find one way or another to increase it. We can do it on efficiency side, because the actually, referring to my experience and the way I came to data, you can, with like existing tools, usually we can you can keep uh, only few priorities very clear to yourself. And but after you answer one questions, okay, we have decrease in sales, but why? You need to go, wait for another week to get answer, and then you don't need this answer anymore because something else has changed. So uh, and like modern technologies, they allow to keep in priority a lot of objectives, and a lot of goals, and we always can find some way to improve.
And if we decided to improve our business using data solutions, how much data a company needs to start this improvement? Is it like a day or a year or
How much historical data?
right?
Uh,
When do I start? Let's say I have a startup, and when do I start to use my data to make
right
improvement?
away, right away, because uh, it's not about data. Like it's again one of the issues that we first think, okay, we need this data, or we need this kind of dashboards to manage our business. It's more about what our goals are, what questions we want to answer. Like if we want to answer questions like how our customers are satisfied with our production, with our products as a startup, then we will need to get some data to answer this question. So if we will answer another question, like how we can improve efficiency, when we will need another data. So it starts with questions, not with the data.
Thank you. And if a company wants to use data to improve, do they need data IT department for it? How do you think?
Well, I think again, they need to like embrace idea how they want to use data. They need, for sure, they will need data engineer to let them, play with data, investigate data, but discover data. But first of all, it really should start with understanding what they want to achieve with this data, and then it will be more clear. Like, do they need mm, engineer? Do they need BI developer? Do they need data scientist? Because it depends on what they want to achieve.
Well, thank you, Maxim. Thank you for your answers. I guess we don't have any more questions. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Um, and see you at the next event of our conference. Thank you,
Thanks a
Maxim.
lot.